Hi guys, welcome to day 6. We're almost 1 week in. Today's session is about gentle core, deep core integration. So the whole reason we're focusing on the deeper intrinsic core is so that the hip flexors can let go and release. Now, a lot of people think ab crunches are the way to go, but that is not it's predominantly a flexion exercise for the six pack. The six pack is not a big part of your deep intrinsic core. So a lot of things that require you to stabilize the entire torso, so plank oriented moves, side lying moves where your torso once again needs to stay very still and isolated, is what works that deep intrinsic core. So that's why we've got a lot of that kind of stuff coming into the equation versus all the ab crunching. So the first exercise we're going to do is a variation of dead bug that is a little less loaded, so we can really focus on this abdominal core activation. Then we're going to go in for a side lying, so I'll explain and demonstrate. We have already done this exercise, we're bringing it back in, and then some cat and cow to get a little bit of movement going while focusing on that core. So to start off, you're going to lay on your mat. Make sure you can extend a leg with no interference from your mat. Feet and knees are bent, pelvis neutral, fist distance gap in the legs, and ribs connected. We're going to take the arms up into the air. It's also a little bit of coordination, so take your time. We are going to inhale to take the right arm overhead while we slide that left leg long and straight. Use the exhale to draw these limbs back in, again, keeping the pelvis and the ribs connected. When the arm goes overhead, don't take it so far that the ribs need to flare. The range is determined by the ribs being pulled down. So that is my range for my left arm. It's not all the way down unless I lift the ribs. Okay, so let's go with the opposite side. Inhale, left arm over, tighten those abdominals, straighten the right leg by gliding the heel along the floor, and then exhale because it's the heavier loaded part of the movement, bringing that leg back in. Okay, and again, inhale, keep the tummy drawing in and tight as we take right arm and left leg. That left hip is going to want to dip down, so really engage that core. Tighten that corset for me. Exhale, tighten even deeper as we draw back in, because that's where the body's going to want to deeply compensate in terms of the going out and going in. And let's go again. Inhale, left arm, right heel, sliding. Please slide the heel, don't lift the leg and straighten. You're going to add load, and this is supposed to be a lighter loaded variation. Exhale, tight tummy, ribs connected and drawing back in. And again, inhale, right arm, left leg out. And exhale, tight tummy, a little bit of pressure in the right foot, and it'll assist keeping that right hip anchored. Inhale, left arm, right leg, bit of pressure in that left foot. I know there's lots of left and rights going on. Exhale, drawing back in, pressure in that left leg. Just keep going and do your best. And let's go one more set. We inhale, lengthen right arm, left leg, put a bit of pressure in that right foot. Exhale, drawing in. You can apply the same principle with the previous day, connecting the opposite inner thigh to the opposite oblique. And let's go last one. Inhale, left arm, right leg, pressure in that left foot, left inner thigh, right oblique, and exhale, drawing in. So keeping, again, all of your torso steady and stable is the main objective, and then isolating the movements into the hip and shoulder joint. And that isolation is rocking up, is really what is going to get that deep core activation for you. Okay, we're now going to go into the side lying. We have done this already. You are going to lay on your side feet, hips, shoulders, arm in a straight line. Now, if your lower back is taking strain, have the legs slightly forward, and then we'll stay out of the lower back and move a bit more into the front abdominal. Now, in this position, we often sink, so the C curve is taking place in the spine. We want to lengthen that top hip away. Oh, mine's not even dipping that much. Lengthen, and then pull those ribs in. You can see the moment I pull the ribs in, I've got a beautiful straight spine. Depending on body shape, you may have a gap, a little house for a mouse. Maintain that little gap. Keep those ribs active. If you want to make it more challenging from a balancing core perspective, right arm resting on the leg instead of on the floor. We're just going to lift that top leg, lengthen those legs, point those toes. It will help to keep tension in a specific direction and less wobble. We're going to inhale, exhale, tight abdominals as you lift that right leg. You pause before that hip dips in. We want to keep again that entire torso stable and steady through that deep intrinsic core. Inhale to lower the leg down. Keep lengthening that leg, exhaling up like you're trying to reach your toe to the other side of the room, and inhale to lower back down. The target is the glute. Exhaling. Inhaling to lower down. Control the movement. No flicking of the leg up and no just dropping of the leg down. If I say pause at any point, you should have enough control to pause at that very second. And exhale, lengthening and lifting. I still have my house for a mouse. My ribs are still connected. My torso is still steady. And that leg is moving in isolation just from that hip joint itself, deeply targeting the glutes. All right, let's go for 2 more and then we will swap sides. And last one. And lowering down. Alrighty, we're going to swap sides for me. You may find one side a lot easier than the other, especially if you have your arm laying on top of your body, where you're relying purely on your core engagement for your balance. So, again, we're not sinking. I can't even sink my hips without lifting my leg. We are lengthening the hip away, drawing those ribs in, creating that little house for a mouse. I'm not 100% stretched by the looks of things. There we go. Alrighty, hand on top, try match what you did on the other side. We're going to inhale, exhale, lengthen and lift. Pause before those hips want to move. And inhale down. Exhale. Inhale to lower. Keep lengthening that leg. The lengthening is just as important as the core activation. And inhale down. When you have tension in a specific direction, we're going to bring stability into the exercise. And inhale down. Good. And again. I'm a little bit more wobbly on this side. So I want to get a bit more oblique engagement on that bottom side. Exhale, lengthen and lift. And boom, more stability. Inhale down. Let's go for 2 more. And lowering back down. And last one, lengthen, engage and rise. And inhale to lower back down. Lovely. All right, let's come into our cat and cow. So, you're going to have hands under shoulders, knees under hips. You want to start in a neutral spine. You will have a soft arch in the lower back, lengthen through the crown of the head. We don't want to be sinking into those shoulders. We need to push the floor away so that those shoulder blades are pulling against the rib cage. We're going to inhale. We're going to do this very segmentally. We're going to inhale to prepare. As you exhale, imagine you're a dog tucking its tail between its legs. So you start from the tailbone, move through the lower back. Imagine there's a flame underneath you and you're trying to pull the belly away from the flame. Pull the abdominals in nice and tight. Keep moving through the spine. Push through the hands, dropping the eyes down to the thighs. We're going to reverse it from the tailbone. Inhaling, start arching that tailbone, lower back, middle back, upper back, and eyes. Now, I don't want you looking all the way forward. We want a constant gradient throughout the spine. So the eyes are slightly dropped. We are not sinking into those shoulders. We are pushing the floor away. From there, we're going to start with the tailbone again. Exhale, draw that tailbone in between the legs. Draw the lower abs in. Connect the pelvic floor. Curling the spine sequentially, one vertebra at a time. Push into those hands, dropping the eyes to the thighs. And reversing. Inhale, tailbone first. The eyes are still looking at the thighs. They're the last thing to rise. You move through the middle back, upper back, still pushing hands into the floor, eyes partially raised. Now we're going to start from the crown of the head and move through. So we're going to exhale, drop the chin first. Push through the hands. Pull the ribs in. Moving through. Pull the belly up. Tuck that tailbone deeply. And now we're going to start from the eyes. Eyes rising first. Imagine you're diving into water. Careful of those shoulder blades coming together. We're still pushing the floor away. Moving through, tailbone the last thing to extend. And last one here. We drop the chin. Pushing through the hands. Draw the ribs in. Connect those ribs. Pull the belly in. Get that pelvic floor engaging, so everything is pulling up, 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 up and in here. And let's reverse for the last time. Start with the eye line, diving through, keep pushing the floor away, middle back, lower back, tailbone. From there you can push back into a rest position just to ease the lower back in case it did feel a little bit of work from the extension we just did. And correct the clip. You can walk your hands towards you to rise back up. Probably going to have crazy hair again. Not too bad, actually. Cool. So that's a nice simple program to really focus on deep core integration and also get a little bit of spinal mobility. Get those hips to move through a posterior and anterior tilt. So it's just that arch and that tuck. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you found the assisted dead bug a little bit challenging. And I hope you were very intentional with it as well. A lot of people like to just flow it out and move it and not be intentional about that stability. So it's a very powerful exercise when you really get it right. So I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, boy.